this forward to have a couple of words with her. I first want to ask you about what was the genesis of your film?
This film was filmed 13 years ago and completed 10 years ago. And the genesis was the addition of Asperger syndrome to the diagnoses of autism in the United States. And it was in the 1990s that Asperger syndrome was added. So it was the first time that more able people on the autism spectrum were given a diagnosis. And as a result, they were starting to enter high school and college about 15 years ago. And my agency was being asked to consult to schools and agencies and individuals to help them understand how to support these individuals in educational settings. And we were asked so many questions and asked so frequently that I thought it would be nice to make a film and let 3 individuals who are very articulate and have a lot of self-awareness answer the same questions that we were being asked. So that was the genesis of the film, and we made the documentary to help schools, neurotypical classmates, siblings, parents, and those on the spectrum better understand themselves.
That's very interesting to hear, and I also want to ask, I also ask after the film about how they are doing now, but we don't want to spoil the film now for you, so we'll not ask that yet. But the film was made in several years ago, and as many of you may know, Asperger is not actually in the diagnostic books anymore. But I want to ask you how it felt like as an author of a film about Asperger's that it was removed from the books.
As a clinician, I understood why it was removed. There was a lot of confusing diagnoses that some of them overlapped, some of them had a lot of subjective decision-making involved with them. But as a person who supports people with Asperger syndrome and also made this film, I joined a lot of people with Asperger syndrome in feeling that something was sort of taken away. So I had mixed feelings about it. But I do understand why the clinicians in the United States decided to describe the autism spectrum by levels of functioning. It makes more sense, I think, in terms of outcomes for individuals.
I personally actually have pretty much the same feeling as I'm a person who has a diagnosis, now obsolete diagnosis of Asperger's. And as a person who lectures and consults about autism, that it's pretty much the same. My feelings that it's kind of a shame in a kind of emotional, personal level, but as a professional, it was a quite wise choice. But I want to take this time also to ask you, because you have worked for many years with people with the spectrum. Talk about your experiences and how you got started, because I think this would be very interesting to hear also. So we are going a bit off topic, but I think you, the audience in the hall and also online will appreciate some backstory to the organization and the wonderful person who made the film.
So over 40 years ago, when I started my program with another woman, Susan Buckler, the frequency of autism in the United States was 3 in 5,000. And what that meant was very few people really understood autism. There was a lot of misconception about its cause. There were theories that it was caused by refrigerator parents who didn't know how to treat their child with warmth and affection and unconditional love, which of course we all know now is completely untrue. But there was that misconception, and then there was a lot of trouble making differential diagnoses. So when I started my program, which was not designed initially for people on the spectrum, we had a couple of children who we didn't understand what their needs were. Their learning styles were very different than the learning disabled children that we were working with primarily. And in our quest to better understand those children, we developed a broader understanding of autism and became one of the early leaders in New York State in developing programs for people with autism. And now, because the frequency is so high, the good news is that people are much better able to do diagnoses and provide support to parents and to individuals on the spectrum. But in the early years, it was a much different scenario.
It's very interesting to hear about this history of your program and everything. And I want to ask you about the film has been shown in many different places and settings. Could you tell us a little bit about this in a few words?
It's been used in a lot of different ways. Parents have used it with showing it to their young adult children to help them better understand their own needs. It's been shown to siblings, brothers and sisters of children on the spectrum, so they can have a broader understanding. It's been shown to neurotypical peers in classrooms to help them respect and understand their classmates. And it's been used to educate educators and clinicians. It comes with a discussion guide, which is often used in counseling sessions with individuals on the spectrum too. So we've been very pleased that it had so many uses and was so well received in different forums.
It's really a great thing that film like this has been made, and we are really happy to be able to showcase the film. These festivals, of course, idea is to show films about autism that really reflect the wide variety of what is autism, how different people are, and how differently able they are. And as you some of you may know, or maybe all of you know, this festival is the only one of its kind that is actually produced by people in the spectrum, mine included, and many others, or some others. Many would be maybe overstatement of the facts, but anyway, we want to at Autism Foundation for Autism Säätiö give you these small presents as our appreciation of your work with autistic people, and especially because it's from the festival, for your great film, and that you came here and really touch our hearts.
And you've touched ours too.
Thank you very much. And I will tell you, the audience, about what we have given you a bit. We have given you this is called Keppuli. It's a Finnish art glass, and Keppuli is one word of one of our clients, Hanta, and she described Keppuli as a thing that's nice to hold in a hand and makes a nice sound, and it feels nice. And I think this really does that very well. And this is also to give wonderful people like you and raise awareness for all this. And we also gave you this book. This book is actually edited and partially written by me. The writers are anonymous in the book. It's also all of the artwork is by autistic people, and it's a nice book. It's about autism by people on the spectrum. And we also gave you this book, which is there's not many like it's written in the world. It's about sexual health and relationship skills a guide for adolescents and adults on the autism spectrum and their partners. This is part of the trailblazing work we do in the field of sexual health and relationship skills for autistic people. And Jamey has told me that we are doing stuff that is not really done in America. We are truly in Autism Foundation in the forefront of progress for the services of autistic people. And we really want to thank you for coming here and seeing some of our services and facilities and talking here with us. So
It's my total pleasure.
thank you very much.
Thank you.